The wedding that we kick off with is just gorgeous because it's Branson finding love again and marrying Lucy.
There are two characters who were not born into this world and suddenly have found themselves thrust into it. I like the idea of them going into this adventure together.
Beautiful, beautiful dress and look. Are you?
Oh. Alan also looks beautiful. I feel that the men are often overshadowed on the wedding day.
The sporting artist, as we walked out of the church, said, "Oh, there she is." I was like, "What am I, chopped liver?"
The wedding of Branson and Lucy. It's a lovely way to start a film.
We were ambitious with the scenes and the sequences, and it does feel like a very cinematic experience.
Most people don't expect visual effects to be a thing that you necessarily need in a period drama or costume drama. Big thing, the opening scene at the wedding reception, Simon wanted to kind of have a very, very seamless takeover between 3 different cameras, a drone to a drone establishing at the wedding reception, and then that flying into the window of the church. So that was something that we had to plan out.
Serve the Lord rejoicing in the power of his Spirit.
This is the beautiful but subtle cake for Tom and Lucy's wedding. And it's mostly fake because we have to do that on a film because obviously this is going to be incredibly heavy and you have to move it around. You know, it's been moved about 20 times in the last 2 days. But the bottom is a fruit cake. So when they actually cut it with a sword, it goes through and it's real. That bottom took 11 hours to cook because it's completely solid fruit cake, which of the day, that's how it would have been. Smaller versions up here are made of polystyrene, but they are iced and decorated with real icing, obviously.
I'm the local vicar, but I'm also playing the part of a historical advisor, trying to make sure that everyone is roughly wearing the right kit at the right time. And one of the things you have to watch out for is how people wear their hats, where they put them during something like a reception here. And also trying to make sure that the mixing of the different classes of the time, the aristocracy and those who were not, works well.
We're trying to film the wedding/reception for Tom Branson, and it's looking a bit bleak. So I actually started in season 5, and I was as an extra, a supporting artist. It was kept on season 6, and then it was the first film where the producers invited me to have a part. So it's been a lovely progression, and I've just graduated from drama school, and it is the perfect end to that.
Charlie, Albert, has got the first line of the first scene, so he's naturally nervous. We're doing all we can to make him not feel so nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Petrified, but it's nice.
Don't mess it up.
No. Cup of tea for Miss Dalgleish.
I've just made some. Daisy can take it up.
I'll do that. I want to.
And action!
I wish you well.
Very good. The spirit of any movie comes from the director. And if you've got a director who is enthusiastic and kind and wants everyone to give of their best, then that trickles down to every department. He's really a sort of games master, really. He wants everyone to have fun.
OK, brilliant. So you're just looking at this plate of carbonara, and finally she gives it to you. Yeah? Great.
Choosing a director for Downton is a tricky business. Simon was a natural. He'd been around a lot on set, and of course he knew the world, so we were delighted when he said he wanted to do it.
I had such admiration for the ensemble, the actors, but also I'd always admired Julian Fellows, but working on the film, that even skyrocketed because he's such a genius at giving everybody a story, these telling moments of humour and emotion that characterise the show.
The modern world comes to Downton.
In this Downton Abbey movie, one of the principal storylines is the making of a film. Some filmmakers come to Downton and to the Crawleys and ask if they can use this extraordinary setting for the production of a new film.
In a way, it creates a sort of firestorm of delights because the staff discover a new world outside their own, and it's very much what happened in society. A new world was discovered. Lord Grantham leaves this treasure of a building that he's invested the whole of his life in to the hands of people who just will do what they wish with it and create out of it something that is celebrity, difference, colour and glamour. Not what this building was for, and yet it was built in order to demonstrate how glorious aristocracy is.
And action.
Where are you going?
Back to London.
Today we're filming a dinner party scene where the servants stepped in as extras and they're sitting around the table and they're eating. And there's a home economist on the set that's advising on the kind of food that would have been served.
I did do a lot of research for this. I went from a book specifically for the war, between war years, 1928 to 1930. This is an authentic 1928 dinner, which in the day they would have had. This is a duck with apple and sage sauce, new potatoes, broad beans and artichokes, which I'm just preparing the artichokes here.
For me, filming at Highclere was really weird and sitting around that table, so not much acting required because Daisy's kind of out of her depth and so was I in a way because I'm never there and we never get to sit at that table and do those big long scenes. But you're always there, aren't you?
I'm always there, but I'm not allowed to sit down, so
You got to sit
it was
down.
exciting to pretend to be upper class.
Come on, Carson. Let's run for it before things get any worse.
Lord Grantham was brought up in the Victorian era. For him, the idea of all this sort of post-deferential film world coming into his very aristocratic house is anathema, and he's very keen to get out of it as quickly as possible.
I hope you've got a Mediterranean version of that outfit or you'll boil.
Don't worry about me, my lord.
The costumes are phenomenal. The contrast, say, between Jack Barber and the men in the house, they are key components of the look of this film.
When you go into a kind of new world within Downton, it's really sort of refreshing and exciting thing to do. It's kind of lots of lovely little zingy sort of sorbet colours, and it's all really fresh and light and bolder in terms of colour contrast. It's opened up a door to kind of new pieces that would have seemed completely out of place at Downton, but are completely at home in the south of France.
The costumes this time is such fun. I mean, whenever we go back to Downton, Anna Robbins always ups the ante. Edith this year has a fantastic wardrobe. When she goes to France, she has this fantastic sort of vacation look. I'm wearing lots of wide, silk trousers and kimonos and headscarves, and it's just so glamorous.
The fact that we were in the south of France, we got such cool new costumes, and Anna Robbins did a beautiful job.
Myrna, who's our film star, who comes in, and what we tried to do with her was for her to look slightly alien in the setting of Highclere. So she pops totally against, so you've got the beauty of Mary, and then you've got this outrageous, glamorous, almost slightly artificial look of her, but she's so stunningly beautiful.
The arrival of our movie star, Myrna, who has got more luggage than it is possible to have. We contacted Louis Vuitton, and they have a fantastic archive. Louis Vuitton as a brand is iconic, and it says a lot about her and a lot about her star status.
I'll give you Miss Dalglish's wardrobe.
I know, but just fancy.
Downton Abbey is a sort of unique film for me in the terms of the fact that it has an established cast of at least 22 returning cast, and I would also include on top of that Highclere as an absolute necessity for the film.
Well, I love Highclere. I mean, I've known it from before we made Downton. I've stayed here and I've come to parties here, and now, of course, it's sort of woven into my very woof with the series. So I do feel I have a sort of connection with the house. The library is one of my favourite rooms in England. I think it's an absolutely extraordinary room.
What's not to like about being here? It's beautiful, and it's just a very different atmosphere. I think we've always said this, of course, because it's somebody's house and it's precious, and we're used to being very badly behaved on a set.
Better be warned, the British are coming.
It was becoming an increasingly popular thing in the late 20s for the rich and famous to go down to the south of France.
There's a ferry crossing, so there's a few shots involving us having reconstructed a period ferry and having it, inserting it on a plate over the sea with the cliffs of Dover at the back. And also throughout that scene, there is a few shots where various characters are walking up and down the decks, and we need to extend to try and make it look like the ferry that we reconstruct and then we build in CG for the wider shots.
Today we're in an absolutely stunning location, a beautiful chateau in the south of France where the Granthams have come for a holiday with a purpose.
Ah. Monsieur de Montmirail. Lord Grantham, bienvenue.
This house had to look very, very different from all the houses we've ever seen in Downton Abbey. It had to be Mediterranean, it had to be open plan, it had to be colourful, it had to reflect the light. Every little detail here, even the sound we're hearing now, is part of the atmosphere of what we've got from this villa.
Natalie Bay and Jonathan Sakai were so lovely. They kind of add such a special touch within the French storyline as well.
Well, we've had this mad year, or mad 15 months or whatever, and the idea that we're standing in the south of France and making a movie, kind of stuff that dreams are made of, I think.
If I knew what the enduring appeal of the show was, I think I'd have bottled it and become a millionaire a long time ago. I think there's a universality about the characters and the scrapes they get into. It's been very, very special, actually.
When we made the first one and then promoting it, the question always came up, will there be a second? And we were very honest in saying that we hope so.
Hope so.
It'll all be based on how the fans take to the first one, but they really did take to it in a massive way, which was really exciting and very humbling to know that the fans are still there and still have an appetite for Down. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Did I like this one too?